Okay, so just on the internet, on Facebook, I just noticed this post here. This person has totally destroyed their crank arm, if you like, not the crank arm, the spider on the crank arm where the chainring attaches. And of course everybody's saying, oh, you over tighten the bolts and all that malarkey. Well, it's a push bike, not a rocket ship. The chances of you over tightening the bolts enough to do this or do anything that's going to cause this, like any kind of stress razor or work hardening, is very, very slim. This is very unlikely to be from tightening the bolts up too much, I would have thought. These are, well, I'm saying that mostly because, one, you'd have to be a complete ape to go that mad, and two, these bolts are anodised aluminium, so if you was going to over tighten these, the first failure point is generally they just round off. Where the Allen key, the steel Allen key goes into the bolt, the bolt gives up and it rounds off, or you strip the threads. That's typically what happens. And in this case, I can't see what a completed one looks like, but look how thin this is right here. So I'd say right from the get-go it's probably more of a design failure. Look how thin this crank spider is right on the, without seeing the actual brake, I couldn't say. Like, you know, I'd need to see the edge of the brake to say, you know, see what actually happened. But I mean, this is all like burred over. So this is, you know, could be metal fatigue. Like, you know, where it's been rubbing, it's smoothed down this edge, and then that one's gone first. Then this one here. Yeah, I'd say this one and this one failed first, and then these two were left to hold it, and they've just failed, bang, and like, you know, that's an overload failure by the looks of it, but I can't say for sure without actually looking at the edge of the material. But this could have been metal fatigue here. There could have been a flaw in the material, could have been any kind of, maybe he previously had some steel crank bolts in there and really did give it the beans, but I doubt it. Or it's been hit. That's the other option. It's hit a rock hard enough to, you know, maybe not with this chain ring, but maybe with another one, to cause damage to the actual crank arm spider itself. And then this one's failed, and then this one's failed, and then these other two have been left holding all the load. You know, probably could be around 3,000 watts this guy's pedaling at, and that could be enough to snap it. But it's not so much power that's going to cause this to fail. What's going to cause this to fail is torque. Torque is rotational force that may or may not result in movement. Now, it did result in movement, but not in the way the guy was intending. So you could have been in like a really high gear, could have had it in the highest gear possible, and was like, could have been standing on the pedals, really putting your full body weight on those pedals. So you got your body weight as well. It's not just muscle strength; it's your weight of your whole body, really heaving it up the hill. This one may have already been damaged. Then this one, you know, these two here are already pretty much shot, and then these two are taking that kind of abuse, and it's just gone. Ping! And maybe he rides like that all the time, and that could well have. It certainly shouldn't cause this to fail in this way, but who knows how many miles this crankset has on it. You know, it could have, you know, several thousand miles of hard riding on it. I mean, it doesn't look like it. It's got a bit of wear, a bit of foot rub on there, but nothing major. Then there's, just looking at the comments, then there's this. This is pretty shocking. This is another thing altogether. This looks like a heat treat failure. Where they've heat treated this, they've got to heat treat this, or it's going to be soft as butter. So they've got to have the right amount of hardness here, so it doesn't wear out too quickly. But also, you don't want it to be brittle. You don't want it to be martensitic. If it goes martensitic, your grain, that's like a real it's almost like glass. The grain structure is kind of, you know, it's just brittle. It's hard, but it's very, very brittle. So under any kind of load, it's just going to go bang. That's a straight edge there, vertical, and same here. So it certainly looks like a manufacturing defect on the heat treat side of things. Saying, oh, well, maybe the rear mech wasn't indexed properly, or I highly doubt that caused that, unless something catastrophic happened, then the mech got smashed into it. But I'm not seeing any other evidence to suggest that's the case, because this is round. If you had an impact, you'd get like several dings, and then one ding where it's eventually hit and ripped the thing apart, but that doesn't appear to be the case. So yeah, this is right. And this gear here is going to be under hardly any stress. These smaller ones are on a lot of stress. The stress is distributed across the teeth, of course. You've got less teeth, you've got more stress on each individual tooth. So these larger gears are much less stressed than these smaller ones, which is why when you're, one other reason why you're pedaling, you want to spin, you don't really want to churn, because if you churn, you're going to wear out these smaller gears real quick. I am a bit of a churner myself, unfortunately, but I know I should try and spin when I remember, try and remember to spin, because it's just better to spin than it is to churn. It's more efficient and you're not going to destroy your drivetrain as quickly. But hey ho, it's my drivetrain, I'll do what I want. But yeah, end up with a situation like the Norco. So that's a pretty crazy thing. I think the main shocking one was actually the cassette. I've never seen a cassette do that before. That concludes this video. GoPro, guess what? We haven't got SD cards really that are cutting it at the moment, which is kind of sucks. So they're on order, but they're not here yet. So I'm using a potato camera for now. Right, see you later. Have a good one.